Life is short, but some people manage to make it even shorter, in the most mind-blowingly ridiculous ways imaginable. These aren't urban legends. These are real, confirmed deaths, caused not by fate or chance, but by decisions so bizarre, it's hard to believe anyone thought they were good ideas. Let's count down 10 real people who died doing things so dumb, you'll think we made it up. 10. The Unbreakable Window Challenge. In a sleek Toronto law office, one high-powered attorney had a signature move, sprinting full speed into the floor-to-ceiling windows to impress new coworkers. The glass didn't break, because it was industrial strength. But one day, the entire window frame dislodged, sending both man and panel plunging 24 floors down. He died on impact. And get this, the building engineers were called in afterward. Their report? The window did what it was designed to do. It didn't break. The frame wasn't made to handle someone body-checking it repeatedly. This wasn't the glass's fault. It was pure human confidence. The law of gravity always wins, even against the law of ego. Well, the courtroom grenade proving. In the Republic of Georgia, a defense attorney stood proudly before a judge. His client was charged with illegally possessing a grenade. To prove it wasn't dangerous, the lawyer held up the weapon, pulled the pin, and smiled. Seconds later, it detonated. The blast killed the lawyer, his client, and 2 others inside the courtroom. No one could believe what had just happened. A real grenade live in court? It sounds fictional, but it happened. Authorities later confirmed the lawyer didn't realize it was armed. Or maybe he did. Either way, no one walked out of that courtroom unchanged. That's what you call a defense that self-destructs. At the bear selfie. 2018, India. A man on a road trip with friends spots a wounded bear in the woods. While his group begged him to leave it alone, he grabbed his phone and walked straight toward it, determined to get a viral selfie. He stood close. He posed. Then the bear lunged. The man was mauled to death while onlookers screamed. It was all captured on video. Even more disturbing, this wasn't an isolated incident. India has recorded dozens of selfie-related deaths, especially with wild animals. So many, in fact, that the government launched official no selfies with wildlife campaigns. But clearly, not everyone got the memo. Sometimes the last picture you take is the last picture you take. The rocket car disaster. This one has become internet legend. A man, supposedly in Arizona, got his hands on a military-grade JATO rocket booster used to help jets take off. Naturally, he attached it to his Chevy Impala. The goal? World's fastest car. The result? A fireball. Moments after ignition, the car accelerated so quickly that it went airborne, slamming into a cliffside at over 300 miles per hour. Investigators said the brakes melted instantly. By the time the driver realized he couldn't stop, he was already flying toward his final destination. Sometimes Fast and Furious ends with fast, and then funeral. Eiffel Tower parachute test. In 1912, Franz Reichelt was a tailor who believed he'd created a parachute suit. He convinced authorities to let him test it off the Eiffel Tower. A crowd gathered. Cameras rolled. Franz climbed the platform, posed for the press, and leapt. What happened next was horrifying. The parachute tangled instantly. He plummeted 187 feet to the ground. Newspapers dubbed him the Flying Tailor. But he didn't fly. He fell, and became a legend for all the wrong reasons. He believed in himself. Gravity didn't. Burglar in the chimney. In California, a man thought he found the perfect break-in strategy. Enter through the chimney. Unfortunately, the flue was narrower than expected. He got stuck. And stayed stuck for 2 days. The homeowner returned and, not knowing anyone was inside, lit the fireplace. Screams echoed. But by the time firefighters arrived, it was too late. This wasn't a burglary. It was a cremation. If you're going to play Santa Claus, know your dimensions. Crushed by an elephant at a zoo in Thailand, a man drunkenly climbed into an elephant pen at night to get a photo. The animal didn't charge. It simply turned around and sat directly on top of him. Zookeepers believed the elephant was scared and tried to protect itself. The man didn't survive. And yes, alcohol was involved. Never forget, elephants don't play games, and they don't take selfies. Death by deodorant. In the UK, a teenage boy was obsessed with personal hygiene. He sprayed deodorant constantly, over 40 times a day, sometimes in small enclosed spaces. Eventually, the gas built up in his lungs. One day, after locking himself in the bathroom, he collapsed. Autopsy results showed fatal butane exposure. the active chemical in spray deodorant. Doctors said the level in his blood was equivalent to heavy solvent abuse. He didn't do drugs. He just overdid the spray. You can die trying to smell good. Seriously. Vodka drinking champion dies instantly at a house party in Russia. A man challenged his friends to a vodka chugging contest. He drank an entire bottle in minutes. He won, then immediately collapsed and died on the floor. Doctors later confirmed his blood alcohol level was fatal. The prize? Bragging rights for about 30 seconds. Winning the party isn't worth losing your pulse. Shot by his own booby trap, paranoid about burglars, a Maine man rigged his yard with homemade traps, including a loaded shotgun tied to a tripwire. It worked too well. One morning, while walking through his own yard, he forgot the trap was armed. He triggered it himself. Neighbors heard the blast. Police found his body near the wire. There was no intruder, only himself and a weapon aimed by his own hand. You can outsmart others, but never forget to outsmart yourself. These deaths aren't just tragic, they're cautionary tales. Not everything needs to be proven, posted, or pushed to the limit. Sometimes staying alive is about making one smart choice instead of one dumb one. Which one made your jaw drop the most? Comment below, and if you want more unbelievable, real-world stories like these, hit that subscribe button. You won't believe what's coming next.